Hello, chat. I'm doing a stream to teach some people about some basic Overwatch stuff for people who've never played the game before, or are very new to the game, or maybe even people who are just struggling to get better at the game and they don't know why. Hey, Lifteris. I'm waiting for a specific person who I was playing with, so if that person could arrive, that would be cool, and then I can get started. Let's go check. So before I start, I have to say a couple things, like as a disclaimer. One, I'm in like gold right now. I like maxed in like, I don't know, like platinum. Yeah. So you can look at my SRs before, so you're not like, oh, this guy sucks. Anyway, I like season one's kind of different. So season two onwards, I got placed in gold. I didn't really play much. I played 2 hours, whatever. I got placed even worse, played 3 hours. You know what I mean? Season 4, I got placed at 1800. Actually, I think I got placed at 1600, so it placed me worse. And then I ended up playing for 36 hours that season, and I gained like 1,000 SR, right? So I'm building a story right now. And then I got, what used to happen was every season it would place you 400 or 300 lower so you could artificially climb, which was kind of really dumb. So even though I ended the season kind of okay. Like this was like a drop right here. It just put me back in gold or whatever, and I was super frustrated. So I didn't really play much. I only played 4 hours. But as you can see from this progression, I really haven't played that much, right? I've only played 142 hours, and that's over the course of a year. So what I'm trying to say is, I like my game set. Those of you who know my channel know my game sense and strategy is really good, right? So that's probably an area that I'm good at in Overwatch. And I watch some like pro play and I read about stuff. So I kind of like know how the game's played. I know the strategies. My game sense is probably way better than my mechanical skill. So that's probably what's holding me back. But I feel like you can learn something from anyone, and there's going to be pros out there who try and teach you and suck at it. And I'm not saying they're bad. They're definitely way better than me. The problem is some people can be super good at something but really bad at teaching it. So I've had a lot of like seen a lot of like either pros on like Twitter or whatever like say stuff that's like just kind of not true, and or they'll be like, this is the best way to aim train when it's not. It's like really person dependent. Um, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about stuff like that. That's my first disclaimer is I'm not the highest skilled player, so if I say something that's wrong and you disagree, that's fine, but I'm pretty sure most of the stuff I'm saying is pretty true. Second is things change in the game. So if I say something about a specific character like this mechanic or this cancel or something like that and it gets fixed, I mean, you just have to look at the date. It's Overwatch. Every 2 months, like, they're going to come up with a balance patch. So we're going to jump into it. I'm going to start playing. One of the things I also want to say is, like, I could be the most naturally skilled Overwatch player in the world. I'm never going to get better than Diamond unless I play the game, and neither are you. So a lot of people think like pros are just super good, like super gifted at aiming and stuff like that. A lot of times pros are, one, have background experience in FPS, so they already know that game genre, and two, they one second. Two, they play a shitload of Overwatch. They don't come in here and play 1 hour a day and end up there. They play 8, 14 hours a day. There's people who play 20 hours a week and are modestly good and like have modest talent and are in like masters in diamond. And there's people who play 20 hours a week and are terrible and are in gold. The difference isn't that those people just aren't skilled at Overwatch and they'll never be good. The difference is they don't know how to learn. So they're just playing the game and they get frustrated all the time and they don't learn instead of learning how to play the game. You have to, there's people who naturally learn how to do something when they start doing it, and there's people who don't because they get frustrated or they don't have the background knowledge or stuff like that. So I think what generally happens to those people who are like, I can't escape bronze on the forums, I play 40 hours a week, help, is they get super frustrated super quick in a game and they stop doing stuff and they build bad habits because they're not learning. And then there's the people who just naturally build good habits, and every time they die in the game, they're like, why did I die? What can I improve? Those people go very far with good game time. And then what you really want is you want to be a combination of like you consciously thinking about what went wrong and then like building those good habits and stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but you know what I mean? So, yeah. So, I'm going to go into training. Jonesy, if you want to let me know what character you want to play, I'm going to talk about character choice real quick. So, for character choice, the best thing, especially when you're starting and you're really bad at FPS, right? You're not going to be pro ever. And the reason isn't because you're bad when you start out. That could be a reason. The reason you're never going to be pro, and I'm never going to be pro, is because we don't play 40 hours a week. It's not our job. Pros play 40 hours a week, and on top of that, they probably play like another 4 hours a day just for fun and practice. Like, not even as their job. And then there's people who are like in high school and play 8 hours a day, but are really talented and got really high, and then decided like, hey, I could go pro, and they contract with teams and start playing more, and they're playing every hour of every day. Normal people who have a job and other stuff, and this is just a fun hobby, aren't ever going to get that good. You'll never be in top 500 unless you're dedicating time to this game. 20, 40 hours a week, whatever. You have to dedicate time. The reason is there's other people with similar skill to you, similar talent, who are putting in 24 hours. So they'll just be better, and that's fine. The ultimate goal of playing this game is to have fun. It's not to be great at the game. Having that said, I like being good at stuff, and I think it's fun to play competitively, and you can't really play competitively if you're constantly getting worse or never getting better. So, I like to think about trying to get better always, and I like to think I have gotten better while playing the game. I don't put enough hours in. I only had 142 hours in a year to rank up, but I've definitely gotten better, and I feel like if I were to put the hours in now, I could probably get better. So, we're going to talk a little bit about character choice and character pool first. Before we start talking about other stuff, and I'll jump around to random tangents, but I want to keep this basic and not talk about like the structure of a team fight and stuff like that. Mostly talk about certain things. So you're gonna have like your mechanical skill, which is like your skill at each character, and it's like even though McCree and Soldier are both hit scan characters, they have different mechanical skills, but they share mechanical skills like aiming and clicking, whereas you know Mercy doesn't have to aim and click. And then we have like someone like Hanzo and someone like Junkrat, and like Zarya, they have projectiles, which Hanzo's behaves way differently than Junkrat and Zarya's, but they're sharing skills. Hanzo would be more like Zenyatta. They both have like projectiles that move pretty fast. Zenyatta's don't arc as much, but Hanzo's do. But Torbjorn's arcs way more, and then Zarya's arcs even more, and then Junkrat's have like a crazy arc. So they share similar skills, so you might want to... Yeah, getting slaughtered constantly sucks, and that's one of the problems, and that's why you want to get better. So first, what you want to do is you want to find a couple characters you like, and you want to have like a hero pool, which means heroes that you're like willing to play. You can absolutely have fun and play every character. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I like doing that. I like playing every character, and I've played every character. But when you're playing to get better, and you're specifically playing to get better, and if you want to get better, you should take a couple hours every time you play to get better or something. You have to focus on it is what I'm saying. You can't just like play around, fuck around all the time and expect to get better. If you really want to get better, you have to somewhat have some focus on getting better. So pick a couple characters first that you think you like to play. You want to pick a varied character pool, so that way if you're playing a game and you're playing to win, like you play a quick play game and you're like, I want to win this, and everyone's DPS, you're not like, well, I can only play DPS, and then you just don't have any healers or whatever. I'd say picking 2 out of the basic trilogy of 3 would be good, like DPS, tank characters, and healing characters. It's more complicated than that, but whatever. So like, for example, I play McCree and Soldier, and sometimes I play Reaper and Tracer, but probably more McCree and Soldier. I don't play Genji, I don't play Doomfist, don't play Pharah, don't play Sombra. And then I don't play any of these characters. And then I play D.Va, Roadhog, and Winston. So I don't play that many characters, but I know every character, I know all their abilities, and I can play with them in quick play. I just don't play them in competitive. So you're going to pick a couple characters. I think Junkrat's a really good idea at first because not only is he really strong right now, you don't need so much aim. But let's start by going over aim a little if you wanted to play an aim character. And I can help you like adjust your sensitivity. So if you want to hop in the game as well, Jonesy, right now, you can. But otherwise, you could just like watch this and play this back. So aiming is weird. Let me get my webcam maybe out. Maybe I can position this correctly. If you're not used to aiming in a game like this, all right, let's try and get this centered. Come on, come on, come on. That's about as good as I'm gonna get. So if you're not used to aiming in a game like this, and you've just mostly played other games, you're probably gonna load up the game, and your sensitivity is gonna be something like 10, right? So look at my hand. I'm moving it very little and I can aim. Right? Not very well, but I can aim. So the reason I can aim, the way I aim like this is I'm moving my wrist around mostly, not my arm. And I'm also moving a very small distance in real life to move a very large distance in the game. If I use my full mouse pad, I turn around several times. Now, in general, this is really bad because I have to learn in my brain to transition to like go a very small distance, very subtle distances to go all the way to the target. Then what do I do to go on the target's head? Say I want to aim at the target, I have to move a very short distance. Now I want to aim at their head, I have to move such a small distance, like it looks like I'm not even moving my hand whatsoever to get to their head. That's bad. Right? I have to move all the way a character, and then the adjustment is so slight. It's very, 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 very hard to do. And I'm playing with 1200 DPI right now. The reason I asked you what mouse you had is because I want to know if it had adjustable DPI. It does. You should probably pick a DPI, and you also want to turn off mouse acceleration. Because what that'll do is it'll make it so your mouse accelerates instead of just going at constant speed. Most games have it disabled by default, but some games don't. Okay, so how do I know what sensitivity is right for me? There's two things you want to take into account. You want to take into account what characters you're gonna play, and you want to take into account your natural, just what sensitivity works for you. I play at a very low sensitivity, which means characters like Genji and Doomfist, who have to turn around, are not gonna work for me. Because you have to turn around like after you like hit someone. So if I was playing at a sensitivity like 4 as Genji, and I shifted, I could turn around easily. You know what I mean? You like shift through someone, turn around, you turn around, jump up here, jump up the wall, turn, jump up, blah blah blah. Like that. But I don't play at a sensitivity of 4, so it gets very difficult to play something like Genji. So if I was playing a Genji character, see, I can just turn around like that, boom. But I actually play at sensitivity of 2, because I play mostly hit scan, which is, if you watch, my whole mouse pad doesn't even turn me around. So, to turn around, I have to shift through someone and then go like that. And it's not quick. I could learn to do it quick. I could learn to go like this. You lift your mouse up, you go to the other side, then you turn around, you lift your mouse up and recenter really quick. But that hand movement is slow intrinsically, and I will never be able to turn around as fast as a Genji player would want to turn around with this sensitivity. The reason I play on this sensitivity is because I don't play Genji. I play other characters that don't need to turn that fast, and even when they do, it's very, very, very rare. My sensitivity could be higher, but I can learn to turn around if I need to shoot, and then I can recenter really fast. And that's super rare that you need to do that, but I practice that, the turning sometimes. So anyway, I play on a sensitivity of 2. How you're going to find your sensitivity with each character is you're going to do this. You're going to go, not with each character, your good sensitivity. You take note of your DPI, whatever it is, 1200. You're going to go to the character you want to find your sensitivity with from McCree. Change the reticle to a dot, and you want to go to advanced, and you want to change the color to either bright green, bright orange, bright purple, bright yellow, one of these bright colors that's not going to be in the background. You don't want to do something like red, because the characters have red outlines and that's going to mess with your mind. You want to do something that's bright and not in background colors. If you were to go, shit. For all characters. I change it for McCree though. There we go. Delete override. Good. Alright. So, but you want a dot, and then you want some sort of, in your character reticules, you want something that's like fluorescent, basically. So it stands out from the background. You don't want something that's like the color of the background because it's going to be really hard. I choose bright green because the only bright green in this color would be like your allies' portraits, and you don't really aim at them that much. But someone who maybe plays more support might want to choose like bright yellow or something. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my sensitivity really high. Like the normal sensitivity. I think the game starts at 10, not 100. That'd be insane. And this is a kind of basic way to find it, but it kind of works. You want to do this before you really start practicing, because if you don't, you're always going to be building bad habits of like your mouse movement. So like I'm aiming very slightly. So one thing you can do is you try and aim in the middle of these guys' eye, and you move around. And you keep trying to aim at the middle of their eye, like as best you can. Trying aiming at the middle of their eye. See how I can't even come fucking close? And one thing I want to note is the reason I can't come close is because I can't really, I'm jittery, I'm all around the eye and stuff like that. This is honestly the best I can aim like this. Default sensitivity is 15, so it's even more than this, and my DPI actually is kind of like mid-range. Like most mouses that don't have adjustable DPI focuses on my DPI. So let's go to 15. So this is what most people are starting at and the game puts you at. Right? I cannot aim on his eye. I literally can't. The reason, because my micro adjustments, these are like micro adjustments, like moving my mouse as little as I possibly can. And it's not smooth. It's like, bah, 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 right? So, I know this is a bad sensitivity because I'm going all over the fucking place. I'm peeing all over the bowl here. I can't, I can't aim at them. These guys' hitboxes are pretty huge, so I could still hit them in the head probably, but player characters' hitboxes are way bigger. They're like this big if you're up close. Okay, so we know that sucks. We're like, we can't aim like that. Even if we're playing Genji, we can't aim like that because we have to hit people in the head. So we go and we lower it a little. We know it's pretty comical, so we lower it to 10, but we already did 10. So we're going to go to 7. And now, as you can see, I'm moving a little more, So now we go. And I can keep up a little. I'm more steady. I'm not like going all over the place, but I'm still not in the eye as much as I'd like to. I'm still having to move my arm a very, very small amount. As you can see, I'm just like very slowly moving. And I'm keeping on the eye better, but it's not what I'd like. And I'm still jittery, as you can see. I'm going above the eye. I'm going to the left. I'm going to the right. I'm switching back and forth. So we're going to go lower. We're going to go to 4. And then we see it's a little bit smoother. I'm keeping generally at the eye, moving randomly and stuff like that. I can kind of like, if I move back and forth, I can kind of track up and down. The thing is, I'm not always on the eye, but I'm not like going back, forth, up, down, back, forth. I'm kind of approaching it, and then I switch to direction and I'm approaching it again. Right? So like that, I can keep it steady. And now, if you look, I do a 360. So the other way to judge your sensitivity is you judge it by mousepad. You have a mousepad or whatever you want, and that's why I was asking you what mousepad you have, and you see how much of a turn you do by mousepad. Some people adamantly believe, like, every game I'm going to play, I like a 360 for my whole mousepad. And that's cool. That's a good way to do it. Some people are like, I like an 180 for my mousepad. But you also want to play the specific game and see. And I played for this a while, and I figured it was kind of too much for me. So I went to 2.5. Actually, I went to 2.54 to be more accurate. And then, now as you can see, remember before when I was going like this, and I was like all over the fucking screen? Literally moving my mouse around my whole mouse pad. It's smoother, right? So before I was saying I had to like go like this to get to the character, then I had to like micro adjust. You can't even see my mouse moving to get in their head. Now, to get on a character, I have to go all the way across my mouse pad to micro adjust. My micro adjusting, you can see my whole hand moving. I can always add more paper to my paper sheet mousepad. You probably want to buy a mousepad like this, a pretty big one. The reason is because you're going to be moving like a psycho around your mousepad if you really want to aim. Even if you're playing at like a 4, you probably want to be moving like a psycho. Some pros honestly play at like 1600 DPI and 4, which for me would be like somewhere around a 5. Pros play at like this sensitivity where you can turn around pretty easy. Like 360 mouse with one mousepad movement is probably, I think, the highest I say most people would play who want to aim well, but can still aim well. When you play very, very aim-intensive characters, it's basic, almost science that, like, to aim better, you have to have your sensitivity lower to a certain point. You're not going to be able to ever get as good as aiming as someone with a lower sensitivity than you, to a reasonable degree. Like, you couldn't just turn your sensitivity to, like, 1 and be like, that's fine. So, I went to 2.54, and now I'm at 2. And another thing to note is you'll have to adjust to each sensitivity. You're so not used to this that you're like, holy shit, I can't move. Like, I'm moving through cement. So, if at first you're like, what the fuck? I can't aim at this guy at all. Are you kidding me? You have to give yourself, like, 10 minutes with each one to try and, like, adjust and, like, really figure it out, right? So now that I've adjusted, I know that I can keep it pretty well centered on the eye like this. And it's not going to be, like, in the middle like that. That's insane. No one can do that. But it's pretty close at other distances, right? So this is a sensitivity I go with. And I can move all the way to the character with just a movement like that, and then I micro adjust. So you have to find your sensitivity and the sensitivity you're comfortable with. If you're jittery around the guy, your sensitivity is too high. You might want to change it lower. Your sensitivity can limit how good you get at aiming. And also, if it's way too low, and you're like, I can't even fucking turn around, like, go do something, like, you're walking on a corner and you're like, or you can't even keep up with your movements because your mouse pad's not big enough. Like, you're walking over here and you have to, like, readjust your mouse, like, constantly to keep up. That's too low. Don't do that. That's obnoxious. If you are playing a game like CSGO, sometimes people actually play with sensitivities this low because they do crazy dramatic movements. I can't actually shoot with the sensitivity, but they're playing a game where there's, like, not a lot of flanking. So what they end up doing is they just, like, have to be very accurate, and they never have to turn around, really. Unless they're, like, moving somewhere, they don't have to turn around to shoot someone. But there's a lot of flanking in this game, so you have to be able to turn around at least 180 pretty quickly. On 5 sensing, I'm going to turn 80 on intensity of 5, and suddenly I can hit a stationary target, trying on McCree. Yeah, exactly. So it's like that. It's like you can't hit a stationary target, and then you're like, oh my god, I can hit stuff. It's insane. The reason is you're you know, playing way lower sensitivity. Okay, so that's sensitivity. Now we have to build good habits. So if you suck at aiming, like you're absolute trash, if you go into the game and just try and aim at people, that's a bad idea. You want to do good aiming habits. You want to build good habits before you start applying them. Having that said, the best way to get better at Overwatch is going to be to play the game. But at first, you can do aim training. Aim training in the training range works. It does not work later on, and I will talk about why. So, if you look at my hand, right, I have to build good habits, and building good habits is as easy as doing something literally 10 minutes a day. But you have to focus on it. You can't, you know, just expect to build good habits. So what I'm doing right now is I'm dragging my wrist on my mouse pad. My wrist is on the table. Right? That's bad. It slows down my aim, and the friction actually makes it harder to adjust. Because in my mind, what I'm doing is I'm looking at the game, I'm looking at my reticle, I'm looking at the character, and I'm trying to figure out how far do I have to move my mouse to click on them. And I know it's about that far, and I can do it pretty easily. And then when I get to them, I micro adjust to keep up with them or whatever. Right? I know that. So when I'm doing the friction, when I'm just draining like that, it's like, it's hard because you're moving almost at a different speed every time. When my arm is off the desk, it's a little better. I'm a little more accurate. And all that is literally lifting my arm and my wrist off the desk. My hand's very, very loosely on my mouse right now. I'm not gripping my mouse really hard or anything. My hand's relaxed. My fingers are laying on the mouse. And then my wrist is gently off. My elbow isn't up. If you look, my elbow is just normally relaxed. What you really want is to be almost like parallel with the thing. I don't want it to be like up here, and I don't want it to be like below the desk. I want it to be almost like just parallel and very relaxed. I'm moving my whole arm. I'm not moving my wrist like this. That'll hurt your wrist, and you can't really aim that well like that. There's different styles of aiming. This is the kind of I do. You want to try which works best for you. If your arm's not getting tired, especially at first while doing this, you're not doing it right. You want your arm to get tired. So I will go and I'll aim train, or I used to, like 10 minutes a day sometimes. Not 10 minutes a day ever, because I never played that much, but before I start playing, where all I am doing is I'm aiming, and I'm trying to keep my arm off the desk. That's it. That's how you build a good habit, is you focus on one thing. I just want to keep my arm off the desk. As you play, over time, your arm gets a little tired. Naturally, you start laying it on the desk. Now it's like moving through sludge again. I'm not really noticing. I'm just aiming worse. Can't hit anything. Build that good habit. Get the sensitivity you like, which is 5. Play on sensitivity 5. Keep your arm off the desk. And you do that, and you shoot, and you miss. Whatever. Okay. So I do this, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the bots. I'm not going to move much. I'm going to shoot the bots. And I'm going to miss, but that's fine. I'm going to go as slowly as I want to not miss. You might want to try this on stationary target. And then I come over here. This guy's stationary. Then an important thing is I want to come up here. This guy's up here, and I want to shoot him. This is all you do, just for like a little bit, like 10 minutes, right? So that's like stage 1. It's like coming around, stop, I'm gonna shoot. One thing is you don't want to miss. You don't want to be like, I miss, I suck. You can miss, you're gonna miss, but you want to try to hit every shot. That's important. Because you're building the habit of like going to him and aiming as slowly as possible. You build your habit very slowly, and then you speed it up. You don't build it fast. You'll just be bad at it, and you'll be like, why am I not getting better? Another thing, though, is these bots are very predictable, and they have huge head hitboxes. So actually, if you looked at where the head hitbox is, I could shoot like right here, and I'll still kill him. It's not even on his head. And it's the same on the left. It's like a huge square. It's like insane how far up it is. I can shoot like almost like here, too. So yeah, I can shoot like not even touching it, and I'll shoot it. So it's quite a bit higher than it should be. You shoot like next to it. It's not really extended out, but it goes actually pretty far down on his neck. So, but yeah, so the head hitbox on these guys is colossal. And I'm aiming for their head. If you want to start by aiming for their body, I would recommend that if you've never played an FPS before. It might be a little easier. But you have to understand that if you ever want to get good at aiming for their body is probably a bad habit. If you really, really want to build good habits from the get-go, what you're aiming at is their neck. Basically, their chin, almost. People say neck, but for the bots, it would be like their chin. Okay, so you're going to do that a bunch every day. Just, I want to shoot this guy kind of in the chin. I want to shoot this guy in the chin. I want to take it as long as I need to aim, shoot this guy in the chin. Whatever. Standing still when you stop to shoot, so you only have to do one thing. That's fine. Real quick before I go into the next drill, let's talk a little bit about mouse movement. So some people do this like I do. Some people have a loose hand on it, and then they do like a claw grip. So I'm grabbing the back of my mouse buttons, like here. So instead of here, I'm here. And I can move my fingers to move. So they aim, and up and down movements are with their fingers. That is so different for me. I could never get used to that because they're grabbing the mouse, and I would press both mouse buttons, but they're like kind of loosely gripping it. That is what some people do, and it works for them. You definitely have more ability to adjust because you can do these slight movements, and you can also do the slight movements to your hand. I am not used to that. I'm used to this. Okay, so after you've done that, the next drill would be to just go a little faster, go hit for the head, and what I'm doing is I'm moving, right? I'm always kind of moving because you don't want to stand still in this game. But I'm still trying to hit. I'm still going as slow as I need to hit. I don't want to speed it up to the point where I can't hit. Sometimes I won't get a headshot because I'm aiming for their neck. That's fine. to be clear, you do aim for headshots sometimes when you know you need to in the game with good game sense. But general aiming is usually around the neck area. With McCree, you aim a little bit higher, like center of the head, because you don't have any weapon spread. And a couple notes about characters with McCree. You should click and you should not hold it. I don't know if they fixed this yet, but when you hold it, sometimes what would happen would be you would shoot and it would bob up and it wouldn't fully do the thing. I guess maybe they changed it, but you would miss shots because of that. Right? So just hit each bot once. Reload.
Double kill.
Go shoot him up here. And then you just do this. You try and shoot each bot once. Don't stress missing, but try and keep it accurate. If you're missing all the time, slow down. If you're missing every once in a while, you're doing a good job. Alright? And then we just do this. We just keep shooting them. Reload. Like that. Good aim training practice and a good warm-up. Once you get better, you can't do this for long because the bots are predictable. You always know where they are. Right? And they have giant head hitboxes. And another thing is they don't move their heads around relative to the rest of their body. Their heads stay the same. Characters' heads actually move left and right, up and down. So when they crouch, they move up and down. Oh, another reason you're shooting kind of neck chin area versus for shooting here is because if a character crouch spams and they're doing that and you shoot, you won't hit them. If you're shooting at their neck, most characters you'll actually just shoot them in the head if you're shooting for their chin. If they crouch. Some characters have crazy crouches like Widow, and you might want to shoot a little lower if they're crouch spamming, just to try and either compromise on getting a body shot or a headshot versus missing your headshot. Right? So this is with McCree, but you should choose whatever character you want, and you should learn that character. Characters like Junkrat don't have as much aiming, but they do have more mechanics, so you won't have to aim as much. But you still need to aim because you need to do these arcs correctly. Alright? I have to be able to hit a person who's moving. Right? You can't just be like this the whole game. This is great for area denial, and that's what Junkrat's really great at, but you see someone, you want to be able to hit them with the grenade, right? And I'm not good at aiming Junkrat, but no matter how good you're at aiming, with McCree, this is a projectile weapon with a move speed in an arc that you have to get used to. I would want to be able to move at different angles and just literally, this is what I would practice. I would be like, how do I get the mine to be there? Like, where do I want to land? Because a lot of times, you want to land it in the doorway. Alright, let's shoot it in the doorway. It's bouncing in the doorway. But if you don't know what you're doing, let's bounce in the doorway. It's like not even getting to the doorway. Or if you're too high, you just start bouncing off the wall. It's not doing it. So you still got to aim if you want to do this character. Yeah. So Junkrat got buffed recently, so he's a great character to play. And you also want to get used to like how he throws his other things, like his mine. You got to be able to throw it like high enough. You have to get used to that arc because it just doesn't go forever. If you're like, I'm gonna throw the mine at this guy, and it's like, nah. Same with the trap. The trap goes very short. So with Junkrat, if you want to play Junkrat, so let me know what characters you want to play. What characters are you interested in, Jonesy? And if you let me know, I can go over the basics of those characters. So like for the trap, I want to do something like that. Or the mine, I want to like throw it up above him and wait for it to get to him. The mine's also way better in close range because they can actually technically shoot the mine while it's in the air. This, you throw like basically way far up if you wanted to get someone. But yeah, so you like shoot, throw the mine. If I hit him, that would have worked. For 200 HP characters, you can shoot him and then throw the mine. And you basically shoot, and when it's about to hit him, you throw the mine, you detonate. Like that, from a range. But they're moving, so you have to, you're not going to just throw it directly at them, right? You see them like this, and then you lead them, and you try and like get both shots. You can like one hit 200 HP heroes. And now that you have 2 mines, there's also other shit you can do. Not much. One thing that you can do with 2 mines, which people are like, it's just a mine on lower cooldown. It's not, because one thing you can do that you couldn't do before is you can use the mine for positioning to do this technique. And if you get close enough to them, you can use the second mine to boost yourself away so you don't get hit. So you can get in and out faster, which is completely a character change. It's not just a mine on lower cooldown. You can jump up and like get them. I can't do it because I suck at Junkrat, but you can do it. It's possible. So Jonesy, let me know what characters you want to play, and I can go over those characters and any specifics for those characters. That was just basic aim, but I'll go over specifics for the characters. And then I'll go over maybe some like game stuff. Like if you want to play Bastion, we got to go over like Bastion and like strategies you use for Bastion. Game lasted too long shutting down. That's pretty funny. Fuck off. It takes you out of the practice range for going too long. I'm just showing Jonesy like some basics to Overwatch so she can work on stuff, I guess. But you gotta let me know what characters you want to play. Pick a couple characters maybe that you might be interested in, I'll go over them. Or, because I want to go over every character ever, because I'm not good at every character. Junkrat, obviously. Also, maybe some DPS like McCree or Soldier. Bastion's tons of fun. Something supporty like Mercy or Ana. So you're just playing like one of each. So the problem with that is, for game sense-wise, you're going to have to learn... Or actually, no, that's good, because you're going to learn DPS and support. So just do that and not do tank. Okay, so Junkrat, like I said, I already went over the arches and stuff. It's really good if you can't aim, because you can still be super effective from good game sense. He's a character, like I said, where, yeah, you have to be able to aim at them, but mostly what you're doing with Junkrat is you're predicting where people will come from, and you're denying that area and spamming into it. And then you're setting traps to catch people. You're using your mine to force people out. You're using your mine to reposition someone. There's a Reinhardt walking at your team. You throw your mine over them and do that to throw them into your team, so your team can like clean up on them, stuff like that. So there's a couple things, a couple mechanics for Junkrat. One, your mine always sends everything up. Even if it's under you, obviously it does. But if it's next to you, it does send you up. See? It doesn't ever send anything straight in any direction. It was above me, but it still sends me up. You gotta know that. So, the reason you gotta know that is I can't mine jump, like, through a hallway, because I'll just hit the ceiling. That's an important distinction that I think most people probably don't know about Junkrat, is you have to know that. Like, because I could try and, like, mine jump, like, something like here, and I'll just hit the ceiling. Because it hits me up. Normal sense would tell you that if I'm gonna mine jump through here, I want to jump so I get some height. But you don't want to jump, because if you jump on top of it, you hit the ceiling. So if I want to mine jump through here, I have to get far enough away where I'm not going to hit the ceiling. Very random, specific distinction. Did you lower the mouse sensitivity? Yeah, I'm playing on my sensitivity, which is 2 now. So that's important for mine jump. And the second thing you need to know is when you hit an enemy with the mine jump, they retain full control, aerial control. Like you do, when you jump, you can strafe. They can do that too. The enemies can do that. Other moves, like Lucio's boop, do not allow you to do that. They send you in a direction. If you're already going in that direction, you'll go faster. If you're resisting against it, you'll go less fast. But the mine jump gives them full aerial control. So if you do that to an enemy, they can, if they're smart and reactive, like the Reinhardt, they'll hold back to try and get to their team faster. But basically, that's called surfing. They'll surf your mine. They'll hit your mine and they'll use it to like get up on a ledge or something like that. So for a skill you want to learn for Junkrat is you want to be able to mine jump onto stuff. Because you want to be able to position yourself effectively. Right? You don't want to do shit like that. You don't want to be falling off. That's bad. And now that you have 2 mines, what you can also do, which is kind of cool, is you can mine and throw a mine and immediately detonate it to get more distance. That might be something you want to work on eventually because it's really fun. But you can basically parkour around the maps now. You can actually do it 3 times because you can place a mine and then you can have the cooldown for 2 mines. Junkrat is all about positioning, like I said. and denying areas and knowing where characters are. A great Junkrat player is somebody who knows where the enemy is. To do that, you want to wear headphones, and you want to listen to the sound of feet. I can't show you here, but you can look up YouTube videos. Everyone makes a sound when they walk. Some people make louder sounds. When you crouch, you make... You can hear my walking? When you crouch, you make less sounds. The only one who doesn't make sounds is Zenyatta, because he's floating. Everyone else does. Bastion makes a lot of sound, because he's metal. McCree makes a lot of sounds for his spurs. So not only do you need to know what sounds people are making, you have to know that everyone makes a different sound, and you can recognize. So say I'm playing and it's chaotic and I can hear, but if I'm really listening to the game, I could probably hear McCree coming around the corner, and I know he's gonna flash me or something. So I start spamming, maybe hit him, get him with the mine, like that. So you need to know position and where everyone is so you can deny stuff. If you're just denying a doorway like this, and they're not in that doorway, you're pointless. So you see them coming that way, you spam the doorway, you know that they're coming around, you can kind of use hearing and positioning, and then you kind of see someone coming over there, you're denying there, you're moving around while denying areas, and then when someone gets close to you, you have to be shooting at them. Trying to go for the kills. Defensive mine, throw the mine, jump, and hold back. Try and get the fuck away. If you get hooked by Roadhog, what you should be doing is holding shift while he's hooking you and holding right click. That'll immediately throw your mine out, and if you're holding right click while you throw your mine, or not holding it, but you're like pressing it, like spamming it, it'll detonate as soon as possible, and that'll get you the fuck away. Aiming down while doing that. That's how you escape. If someone's like, you're sleeping, you're spamming, you're holding shift and pressing R, so when you wake up, you just get the fuck out. Alright, so let's demonstrate, like I said before. You can only have one mine out at a time, but you can have 3 mines. If you look at the little bar in the corner, you can have 3 mines down there. Which means I can use this to detonate, this one, and then this one, and go very far, and try and get over here. See? Fun. So, you know, you're not going to do that a lot, because you don't want to use all your mines, because it makes you almost defenseless, but that's something you can do. Right? I'm gonna come over here. And this is actually a really good thing to play around with. Jumping, you have moving platforms and stuff like that, which there's not a lot of moving platforms in the game you want to jump onto. But, see, I didn't have enough room. But you might want to jump onto a moving platform. In any case, if you can jump onto a moving platform, you have way better aim and better air control. Because you don't want to jump on a moving platform, but what you do want to jump on is a moving person. You want to get a distance. If you're jumping, you don't want to land next to a McCree because you know he can flash you. You want to land in a specific spot. When you're mine jumping, you know where you want to land. You have to have the air control to land there. So you just know that you have basically complete control over air strafing. And TF2 air strafing was a huge thing. Because that's the mine. The mine's pretty good. What you can also do at the beginning of the game is you're going to lay a trap with like a mine in it. You go find somewhere like a stairs. Or somewhere where you don't think they're going to see. And you lay a mine like that. And then they'll come up and this guy will get trapped. And then you detonate the mine immediately when you hear the trap thing. So basically it would be like, I don't think they're going to check right here. I'm going to do that at the beginning of the game. Then I go back with the rest of my team, and I'm just watching and watching. And when I hit the trigger, I do that. This is something you do at the beginning of the game. And in between team fights, when the team fight's over and you're just waiting around and you have 2 mines on cooldown, throw that. Do that. And then when someone comes by, you can maybe get a free kill. Because people aren't always looking at the grounds. Good places to place your traps aren't out in the open, but on like levels. So if they're coming down the stairs and I place it like right here, they might not see it as much because from this angle they can't really see it. I'll demonstrate a better one. I'll throw it like right here. It used to actually just clip through the stairs and it was absolute bullshit and you really couldn't see it. So they're coming down, they're not seeing the trap, they're not seeing the trap. They might see it, it's a little too late, they might be tracer, they might blink into it, whatever. And then during fights, the best thing to do with your trap during a fight is to just throw it in the general direction of the enemy. You're doing this, there's a team fight over here, there's a bunch of people, aim up, throw your trap like that, and get somewhere, someone might step in it. If they step in it, you can hit them because they can't move. People can't use escape abilities out of traps, basically. So like a tracer jumps in it, whatever. Essentially, you don't want your trap to just be here. You don't want to be like, oh, I need my trap right now. I'm not going to throw it. Like, if your trap's out, yeah, just leave it out. But if they destroy it, throw another trap. Or if the positions move and the team fights now somewhere else, throw another trap. And then your mines, you use them defensively and for movement, but you also want to just, like I said before, you want to use them to kill people. You wanna understand the general range and how this won't hurt him, but you want to know exactly how far. If you watch a lot of like pro players who are really good at the game but don't know Junkrat, they'll do stuff like that because they're really good. They know what to do. They just don't know the specific range. That's a mechanical skill. The only way to get better at that is to play the character. Obviously, you want these big juicy groups of people too. If there's a juicy group of people, throw a mine in the middle of it. Fuck them up. You want to be able to hit stuff like that. That's like the dope. That's the icing on the cake, is that you can hit air shots. Alright, so you want to like aim like that. I almost hit him. That's you just playing and learning the art. You don't get that from practicing in the practice range. You get that from playing the game and throwing people, and when they're up in the air, just go for it. Try and do it. Over time, your brain will figure it out. And finally, we have his ultimate. His ultimate is really awesome because they amped it up. It used to have 50 HP and be kind of slow. They made it go faster, and they made it have more HP. Now it has 100. It's insane. So one thing is you don't gain time while climbing as much. So, hold on. Let's get another ult. It does. I don't know if they fix this, so they might fix this in the future. Is training versus AI very good? Training versus AI is probably the worst thing you can do. The reason being, if you really are bad at the game, you don't care that you're bad, you don't want to get that much better, then training versus AI, like if you can't play against players. The problem is the AIs are like the bots, but they're all also real characters, and that's almost worse because you get to learn the animations. And I could be wrong about this. No one knows. That's the thing. Is like someone will be like, no, don't train against that. It'll ruin your aim. No one knows for sure what it'll do. Like if you'll really be that bad, because there's no one who's like trained that much and just like, oh no, I'm not good at the game. The thing is, the AI are so predictable when they move that you'll eventually get used to the things that they're doing. So when you see a tracer, in your mind, subconsciously, you'll know that they're going to blink left because that's what the AI does. You'll get used to that, but they're a player, so they're not going to. So you'll see, you'll know at what range McCree's going to flashbang you and when he's going to flashbang you because the AI isn't complicated enough to do it completely randomly. They have parameters. You don't want to get used to those parameters. And then you don't want that to translate to actual play. I've played versus the AI for fun. Mostly it's to see who can kill. Like, if you're doing just aim training strictly on them, it's kind of okay, I guess. I've done that before just for fun. But their movement isn't random. Players' movements is random. And you can get used to how they're aiming. If you do it against, like, Animbots and stuff, they move kind of randomly, so it could be good. But you probably don't want to do it. Another thing I didn't mention on McCree, I think I probably started talking about, is people have animations. And I wish they had a training mode that had just like character models. So when I flashbang someone, you see how his like head rotated around? It didn't move though. Characters in the game, their head will bob to the left or right when you flashbang them, like oof. And you can actually miss the shot because their head bobs. So what you have to do for like McCree, a mechanical skill, is to be able to flash, and then you know where their head's gonna bob. So instead of aiming at where their head currently is, when you flash, you have to be able to shoot them. So back to Junkrat in his wonderful tire. Mostly, okay. So that's another thing. Is like the mercy thing. Definitely do not do that. Do not practice. Like aiming and mechanical skills you can practice in practice range. Mercy is one of those characters that's like mostly game sense, meaning there's like two kinds of skills. There's mechanical skill, like how good am I at making the character do what I want the character to do. I want to hit this guy with the mine. Where do I aim on the screen and hit the character with the mine? I want to jump onto that platform. How do I do that? I wasn't quick enough. How do I land the trap where I want it to? How do I control the character? Like, that's mechanical skill. You have to get better at that as each character. Like I said, some will transition. Getting better at general projectile use will get better and stuff like that. Also, how do I press the right button? Sometimes I press the wrong button. People do that. When you're new with the character, you might press the wrong button. If you're doing sick combos, press the wrong button. Also, one thing I didn't mention is you can bounce grenades off walls to get, like, sick angles. So, for, like, let's find a good way to do this. So, like, I know that they're down there, so I can do this. And they can't shoot me, right? And you gotta be able to get good at those angles and kind of know those angles. That's a good Junkrat skill. And it's mostly just like, someone's like coming from over, you know someone's over here, you just spam a couple grenades like that. You might get a hit on them, and then that'll change the fight, and you can like come in and mine them or whatever. Or like, they're in the building somewhere, and you know they're in the building, so you're just like firing all around. But yeah, you don't want to learn game sense from AI, because AI do really stupid stuff. So, Mercy is mostly when do I damage boost, and I can't talk much about support because I'm not good support. For a support player, the biggest skill you're going to want to learn at first is who do I heal and when. That's a very, very important thing. But let's talk about the Tire first and not talk about support characters. So the Tire is very fast, and it can climb walls if you hold space. And it makes a lot of noise. It doesn't make any noise if it's stopped. That noise, it doesn't make it when it's stopped. That noise, like I was talking about with footsteps, that's the Tire's footsteps. If you, that noise will show them what direction the Tire is coming from. They'll try and shoot it. I gotta farm another ult. I wish the Tire was longer so I can show this stuff. Spots are making me look bad. Get him. Alright, so what you can do is you can hide during the team fight so they don't know where it's coming from, and then come out and blow, or you can hide behind a wall when they're coming up, and then you jump up and go. Those are some techniques you can use. Your Tire's actually really fast now, so there's another thing you can do, which I'll show you. I gotta get another ult. I wish there's like a button to have instant ults so you can like practice ults. You need to know the layout of the maps to like do a good Tire too. Like know and that's the whole position thing I was talking about before. You need to know when you're tiring where the enemies are. You don't go looking for the enemies. You only have 10 seconds. You want to make the most of it. Alright. Now you can go up a wall. One thing you can do is, this is a weird thing, but the Tire does damage based on range. So if they're far enough away, it won't do damage. It does about 600 damage. Enough to like one-shot a Hog and one-shot most characters in the game. Diva, I don't think you can one-shot her if she still has armor, because she has, what, like 400 health, 200 armor. Anyway, if it's off the ground, it does damage the closer it is to them, okay? We understand that. The point it registers for how much it's doing damage is their feet. So if it's higher than their feet, it's farther away from them. So if you detonate above someone's head, it's further from their feet than detonating next to their feet. So what that means is the Tire does more damage while it's on the ground. So if you're trying to kill a character like Reinhardt and you jump before you detonate, you'll do less damage. That's important because jumping is a good way to juke as the Tire. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to juke around and try and kill those training bots. But remember, they're 200 HP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come over up on this wall. I'm going to come over on this wall. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to jump up. And then I'm going to come down at like a weird angle and move around and like try and dodge them and shit. So instead of just coming through, like, I'm going to come around this corner where they expect it, you go over the roof and stuff. You want to find those paths where you're kind of coming from different angles and you don't want to come straight to them. Maybe you like loop around. Maybe you sit against a wall for a little bit so they don't know you're coming and they're not sure. Because the thing is, if they're in a team fight right now, they have to worry about the Tire and they have to worry about getting shot. So your Tire doesn't necessarily need to kill anyone. If your Tire messes the team up, that's enough. The Tire makes it so they don't focus and they get out of position, that's enough. If your Tire gets one kill, that's enough. Also, do not Tire when you're not in a team fight. Anyone who's smart enough will be like, okay, I don't have to worry about any of the enemies. Where's the tire coming from? I can hear it. They'll kill it. Done. Counter tire, you have your mine out, because your mine does like 120 damage. And when the tire's coming, you want to throw your mine and get the tire. Because the tire has 100 health now, it's actually kind of difficult to kill because it's way faster. If someone puts up a shield, so you're going Zarya, she has her shield up, go like this. Try and juke and stuff so that they don't shoot it, and then wait for the shield to go away, and then do that. You can go through Reinhardt's shield, you can go through Orisa's shield, you can D.Va's shield does nothing. Zenyatta's shields, Zarya's shield will completely absorb it and charge her, so don't do that. And if someone has like, if someone uses drop the beat like Lucio and they have the big shields, you should wait it out, because bombing them and not doing anything or charging Zarya is worse than just getting your tire destroyed. So what other characters? You said DPS like McCree Soldier, Bastion's tons of fun. Let's play Bastion. Bastion's fun. Bastion used to just be a sentry bot. That was you're like, you can't run into me because I'll kill you. They did a couple things. So now he has 300 ammo, so whatever. They made the effective range on his sentry mode very, very, very low. So if I'm staying here at 40. And they made it so it can't headshot. So you do not aim for headshots. You aim for the center of the body when you're playing as Bastion, so that your weapon spread will get the most shots you can. When I said aim for the neck, that was a very character-specific thing. Each character, you actually want to aim for a different spot, because you want to be able to track someone as they're moving, so you need to be able to have the most area you can. It's way easier to track someone when you're aiming directly in the center of them. Like I said before, when you're aiming at the head, you know, whatever, but when you're aiming at the body, it's way wider for most people. Aiming at the body of like someone like Roadhog or whatever, it's so easy to track. So you have that tracking skill, and another good thing about the low sensitivity is it gets you that good smooth movement that you can track with, so you can keep up with them. You not only want to anticipate where they're going to go, but a lot of people will move in very linear patterns, and so you can track them. You can't move. I'll go around moving and tracking now. So one thing about, I'm going to talk about like one thing at a time. Sentry mode. The cool thing about Sentry mode is you take way less damage now because you have like damage resistance, and your head hitbox is in the back. So they're going to have a hard time damaging you. However, and you have armor, right? However, you're super vulnerable to things like Junkrat and Pharah, because armor doesn't really matter because it reduces each shot by 5. But they do like 120 damage, so you're going to take 115 damage and then have no armor. Whereas someone like Tracer, you'll take, instead of doing like 10 damage or whatever she does, she'll do 5 each shot until your armor's gone. So you're reducing way more damage from armor from rapid fire stuff than you are from rapid fire. Higher bullet count, less damage per bullet, armor's good against. Not high spike damage. So see how I have a rapid fire gun, armor's good against this. Armor is not good against something like McCree, who every shot is 70 damage. You shoot him in the head, you do 140 damage, minus 5, 135 damage. Whereas Bastion does less. So for Sentry mode, you're kind of vulnerable to things like that. What people will do is they'll get behind Reinhardt's shield or whatever, and they'll just sit there, blah, 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 blah. That works in low games. And I'm going to stress this because there was a thing with this last night where I lost in competitive, and after playing D.Va for 2 rounds and gobbling shitloads of ults and protecting the whole team and literally having gold damage as D.Va while getting like, I had like 5k damage and 5k damage blocked in like a 2-minute round. It was insane. I like ran a clinic on them. And then I did it again on defense. And then I played Bastion, and everyone blamed the loss on me, started swearing at me, calling me a faggot because I played Bastion. Because they were like, we're going to set up Reinhardt, and you're going to sit behind him. And then Pharah came in, and I got up, and I moved and started shooting her. And they were like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know how to play Bastion. Why would you use recon mode? Here's the thing. That was a couple seconds, right? Faster. You do damage faster in recon mode from further distances. And you're more accurate. And you can headshot. So someone like Pharah, who's far away, do not sit there like blinking at her. It gets even worse from a further distance. Like, you actually can't hurt people from like a really far distance now, because your effective range is like nothing. Look at that. I am also doing no damage with recon because I'm completely out of my effective range. That's something you need to know for DPS players. I didn't talk about this, and so sometimes I remind myself of game mechanics. There's damage fall off, so at a certain point, I'll start doing less damage the further I am away. 20 meters, I'm doing full damage. 30 meters, I believe I'm doing full damage as Bastion's turret. I believe my damage fall off for Bastion's turret is 25, and then his recon should be 30 or something. I don't know. It's 20 and 40 or 20 and 30 or something like that. Anyway, you have a higher effective range. So like 30, I still do crazy damage, but you saw how little damage I did at 40. All right, so that's the turret. It does insane damage to shields because if you look at that spread, and that's another thing with the damage fall off is I'm missing like half my shots. That's why it's not going down. Like if I shoot this guy when he's close or whatever, it'll go down like smoothly, like the whole bar will go down at the same rate, really fast. If I shoot here, you notice it like stops every now and then. It's like faster and slower. That's because I'm missing like a million shots. Whereas this has very low spread. Let's put bloom on and I'll show you. How do I turn bloom on? Not circle. Alright, let's go to... Oh, I think I have to be in Bastion. Because some people don't have bloom. Bloom is going to expand my thing depending on how much... we'll go to circle, advance, aim technique, advance, circle. I don't know where it is. Opacity, outline, color, thickness, show accuracy. Oh, show accuracy. Okay, I think that might be it. Nope. Bear with me. Circle and crosshairs. Dot, circle, default. We have show accuracy on. See? Since my I don't know why it has a dot in the middle, the circle and dot. You see how it gets bigger? That's my effective accuracy, right? The effective accuracy on this is like this circle, but it's like way bigger. So that's your recoil. If you don't get any recoil, but you're firing way slower, at a much further range where you know you will miss, if you just do this, because you'll start missing like crazy. Like if I'm here. No, he's already dead. You're probably getting more damage at this range from feathering it. And this is mostly useful soldier. I'm gonna show you soldier. You shoot in bursts. And when your thing starts to come back, you come back. The problem is Bastion's coming back is pretty slow. As you can see, can move back. Whereas soldiers is almost instant. So a soldier, you do 4-round bursts. Whereas Bastion, you can do like a 6-round burst, but then after that you're inaccurate for a little bit. So if you look at my ammo counter, I can do like a 6-round burst, pretty accurate, and then I have to wait like literally like almost a second. So it's like that. And you can turn on the show accuracy if you want. I don't like the thing moving. I think it distracts me, so I don't. But that's something you gotta know. Is you do delete override. You gotta know the dot. Because if I have the dot, I don't know how inaccurate it is. You gotta know, like, I need to burst, and then, like, stop. And, you know, burst, stop, something like that. Alright, so back onto sentry mode. So sentry mode, right? I want to kill this guy in sentry mode. I walk out, I shift. He had, like, 2 seconds to shoot me and annihilate me before I did anything. And if he was a Hanzo and he had scatter arrow, he would kill me, right? But what about this? You can't move while sieging up, but if you jump, you can. Right? So you should basically always be jump sieging, right? So you jump and you siege, and then they have less time, and you want to make it so you're coming out just as you're sieging. It takes it from like they have 2 seconds to shoot you in the head before they know what's happening to like instant. Right? And you can also do surprise attacks and shit. So you should almost always be jump sieging unless like there's a reason not to. Like you're gonna stand still, like there's a Reinhardt there and you're positioned correctly and you just want to siege. So, you know, they're down there and you know they're down there, you jump off and you siege. By the time they see you, you're already sieged up, you know, whatever. Moving from target to target. And if you want to do aim training on Bastion, it would be the same thing. It would be like, shoot this guy, shoot this guy, shoot this guy, shoot this guy. And then it would be like, kill, move to target, kill, track, kill, 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 kill. You want to be moving from target to target really fast as Bastion and be hitting them center of mass in chart mode. Now recon mode is also very, very interesting. Because people think recon mode is terrible, and that's because it was, but now it's really awesome. Like I said, further distances, and you can move. Your biggest penalty is siege, is you can't move. If you do this, and you get a couple kills, you should not stand there. You should get in recon mode to reposition. If you have no reason to currently be in sentry mode, you shouldn't be in sentry mode waiting for them. Turtled up. Because you're super vulnerable. They probably know where you are, especially if you just killed them. And the easiest thing for someone who knows how to play is a Bastion who they know where they are. Your Junkrat, you can try and spam mines on them. Pharah can go around and shoot them. Or the entire team can get a D.Va and they can walk past you. So you need to be on your feet. So you like get a couple kills, right? And then you're on your feet. And then you notice they're coming around. You come around. You jump in. You siege. Pressure them. Push them off. And when they're backing out, you can't see them anymore. You unsiege, go around the corner, and try and get those kills with your recon mode. And then you back off. Do it again. You know, and it's also a retreat thing. Someone's coming at you, shoot them recon mode, jump behind a wall, siege up. So now that they have to push you coming around the corner into your sentry mode. So you shouldn't just be sieged up somewhere. And then finally, one thing with Bastion is his self-heal is insane now. It heals a lot, and it's from right click. And it has a bar, but you can do it while moving and jumping. So basically, anytime you have any damage, unless the team fight's over and you want your supports to get the ult charge they get from healing you, that's another little brief tip. If a team fight is over and you have supports, do not go heal with the medkit. Do not heal with the self-heal ability. Let your supports heal you because they get ult charge. You get ult charge from self-healing, but it's not worth pretty much any support ult in the game. See, I get a little ult charge from this, but it's not worth it. But in the middle of a fight, you can do this. If someone's actively shooting at you and you're running away, you almost never want to self-heal because most people will be able to shoot you enough to outdamage your self-heal, like Soldier or something. But a good point is if you're out of bullets and you need to, you can do that. Another thing is you want to turn away while you're doing it because it's harder for them to shoot your head hitbox from behind. Bastions is still pretty easy to hit, but it conceals it a little bit. So someone's shooting at you and you want to get away, like there's a corner right here and they're about to kill you, you know, like that. Get around. And then heal up, siege up. You can do it in this mode, shooting, 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 they back off, heal, shooting, 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 they back off, heal. Keep yourself up. Help your supports heal you. But don't top yourself off at the end of a fight. Don't rely on your supports because you can self-heal. So that's all Bastion is really. You got to learn when to recon, when to tank. You got to know positioning, where are they coming from, how can I deny them, you know, surprise attacks. If you can see the corner of a shield, but their whole team's shooting you, you don't have a shield, just shoot the corner of the shield where they can't hit you because they're all staying directly behind the shield. They get up, leave. And since it takes a little bit for you to get up, you need to anticipate shit like way before it happens. So you can't be like, oh, a Hanzo, I'll just get up. He'll scatter you and kill you before you can do that. So you're shooting, you hear a Hanzo, you get the fuck out of there if you don't have a shield or anything. Because while you're here, you can jump his scatter and you can try and hit him a little. You can push him off. You can't do that. And then finally we have tank mode. Tank mode's really, really fun. Tank mode, you're going to be able to shoot these tank projectiles. Like this. They have a slight arch. And they also have travel time. There's a couple things with tank mode. You get damage resistance in tank mode, but you can still die during it, so don't do it if you have like low health. Never ult 1v6. You will die and waste your ult. Only do it if it's a good situation. That's game sense. I can't teach you that in an afternoon. A couple things. One, you can rocket jump to get on shit you couldn't get on, which is cool. And since you have damage resistance, it won't hurt you that much. 2, the further away someone is from your shot, the less damage they take. And 3, since it has travel time, you want to get them. And the last thing is, unless you hit them, it's doing damage at their feet. Example. Miss. Miss. Hit. So, instead of trying to hit their body and missing from side to side or up, you shoot at people's feet when you're in this mode. You want to hit their feet because it's going to do the same damage because it can't headshot. So, you're trying to arch your thing to hit people's feet. And you also, since you're pretty accurate and you don't have to actually be that accurate, just hit somewhere near their feet, you also want to be jumping a lot to make yourself harder to hit, probably. Jumping makes you harder to hit versus certain classes, like projectile, or actually, I don't know. Jumping makes you harder to hit versus people who suck. It makes you easier to hit versus people who know what they're doing. So do not jump versus like a Widow or a McCree or Soldier who knows what they're doing, because they'll just throw a helix at where you're about to land and they'll hit you with it. And a Widow will aim where you're about to land because you can't move. When I'm jumping, I can't change my direction good enough where if I pull back, they're just going to shoot me. And if you're landing, they kind of know what direction you're in. So let's demonstrate the... I don't know what I can rocket jump on and what I can't. I think I might be able to get up here, so I can't really even come close, but we'll see. So you can jump and aim down to get up on stuff that you couldn't, to get the high ground, and then you just want to aim. And you want to just be kind of going around and aiming at people's feet. Don't shoot shields and stuff. It's not long enough to do enough damage. If you can actually get around shields because of the blast. If you like land next, like the shield's here, they're behind it, and you land like here, and they're standing behind it, you know, you could hit someone and kill them. You want to hit squishies before you hit tanks because you can really take someone out. You want to go for their supports if you can. A good opportunity in tank is you know that supports or anything is separate from the rest of the team, or you know everyone's grouped up in a room or some shit, and you can actually devastate them, or their shields down or anything like that, and you just tank. Nano tank used to be absolutely stupid, you know. So you just tank, and once you know you got the kill, you turn, go for someone else. You don't shoot at them, watch for them to die, and do that. You want to be like boom, 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 unless you know you missed or some shit. So that's Bastion. Bastion's really fun. People say he's just a worse soldier, but they're completely wrong. He's a completely different character. If you're not playing in a pro team, you don't have to stick by the exact meta. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. People are gonna, when you play with people, they're gonna tell you that like, if you're not playing an on-meta character or like an on-meta comp, then you suck or you're gonna lose. It literally doesn't matter unless you're like in high GM, top 500, or pro play. Your individual skill with the character is going to determine way more of what you do than if the character's meta or not. What matters more is team comp, meaning like having a healer or some shit. And not even what healer, having a healer that can adequately heal you. Certainly, there's characters that can't do something. So if you're playing Junkrat and the problem's a Pharah on your team, you're not going to be hitting those grenades on the Pharah because she's flying way out of your range. So you might want to choose a different character for that. But don't choose Soldier over Bastion because Bastion's more meta, because it doesn't matter. Choose what you want to choose. Once again, Soldier's a better choice in certain situations, but if you're better on Bastion, play the Bastion. But you should be trying to learn which characters play in a certain situation, because that's part of the game sense, right? So Soldiers, I mean, aim for the neck because your weapon spread, you know, and their movement and their crouching will get you headshots and body shots, a good mix of them. You do 4-round shots accurately, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to try and learn. If I hold it, you can see it starts going off at the ends, all around. But it recenters really quickly. So I do these 4-round bursts. If I'm very, 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 very far away, 1-round burst works good. And you do less damage that way, but I find it helps me not worry about my burst when you're more focused on your aiming here. So if I'm trying to focus on the burst and the aiming, it's just kind of too much for me. So sometimes I'll just do light taps from that far away. So the reason Soldier is meta over McCree and Bastion and all these other hit scan characters is his sprint is too good to pass up. So, for example, all right, let's go over the basic abilities first. You're sprinting, you can't shoot while doing it. If you click, you'll just stop doing it. And you just have to press shift and it's toggled, and then you're sprinting. Makes you really hard to hit. You can jump while doing it, so you can get over some gaps you otherwise couldn't. And it makes you faster to the fight when you respawn. You respawn and your team's in a fight, you can get back faster. And it also makes it so you can position way better than other characters. So you're in the middle of a team fight, and they knock you off high ground. You run up back to high ground. And you're like, well, I'm losing DPS while doing that. But the advantage you get from being above them is much more important than the damage you lost in a lot of cases. So being on high ground is important as a character who has hit scan like this and projectile sometimes, is because I can shoot him. I have more of his head revealed because I'm from an upward angle. He has less of my head revealed. So if I'm shooting around his like kind of chin area, I'm hitting way more headshots. And because if he's shooting at me and I won't need to reload, I back off and reload. He can't shoot me. Shooting at him, back off, reload. Shooting at him, back off, reload. I am dictating when he can shoot me. And he can run for cover, but if there's a wall here, he has to go somewhere else. He has to find some cover somewhere. I have cover from being on high ground. Someone on low ground doesn't have cover.
Only gets better with age.
Okay, so that's why high ground matters. That's why sprint matters, because you can position way better. And a lot of times Winston or D.Va will jump on you to try and... I'll be in the training range for a long time. Practice your mechanical skills and then go play games. I'm going to talk about actual practice and like what I would do. I'm just showing you stuff for notes and stuff. You shouldn't just be in here all day. You'll learn way faster from practicing, like I said, doing good habits in the training range. Before I play a game, before you play for the day, do 10 minutes of good habits in the training range, and then go play the game. And I'll talk about playing the game and getting better. Playing the game to have fun is great, and you should play the game to have fun. If you want to get better, instead of playing the game to have fun, you play the game to have fun, and you try and focus your mind on one thing. You just focus on it. So I'm getting lazy and my hand's on the desk again. I'll play a whole game where I just make sure that my hand's off the desk. I played a game last night where I played McCree, and I just tried to aim. I didn't worry about my position. I didn't worry where I was standing. I didn't worry about what my team was doing. I didn't worry about what character they needed. I played McCree. I insta-locked McCree in quick play. And I didn't worry about getting high ground. I just worried about aiming at their neck and keeping my hand off the desk. And I did that for 3 games. My accuracy was like 50, 60%. And I was taking it very slowly. I was not going fast. And the thing is, my accuracy wouldn't be 60% if I was playing right, because I would be like around, I'd be judging around, I'd be like going for shots I know maybe I might not be able to make and stuff like that. I'd be switching to people faster, doing stuff like that, missing. But I kept it so high, I'm practicing the good habit of how to aim well, and then you speed it up. You learn something slow and you speed it up. But anyway, I'm kind of digressing. So the reason he's also good is because I have this healing station that can heal me up, and it has a long cooldown, 14 seconds, but it can give me the advantage on a 1v1, and it can heal my team if I need it to, and there's a couple other things. So you do the 4-round bursts, right, if you want to. Far array, 1-round burst. Your effective range is around 40 meters. I do way more damage from 40 meters. You don't want to be too close, because if you're doing Tracer, she has less effective range than you. Be outside of her effective range while being inside yours. Same with Roadhog, same with Reaper. If a Reaper comes running at me, instead of just being like, oh no, and running at him, I turn and jump away. And fire while I move back and jump, sprint jump. So like you can sprint jump and turn around. Keep him at range. Go for that headshot. And if he gets too low, he'll turn and run or shadow step away. Don't let him get close to you. Keep your position. You hear a Reaper. If I hear a Reaper there, I'm not, oh no, I'm, get the fuck out of here. Go where he's coming from. Shoot him, shoot him, shoot him. Get the fuck out of here. So your positioning is great. So like I was saying before, Winston will dive on you, and as a McCree, you have very little recourse. If he lands on you, he does the 50 damage from hitting his jump pack. Like when he lands, he does 50 damage as Winston. And if he's really good, he'll punch you for 30 damage right before he lands. So now you have 120 damage. And I don't know how much damage he does. It's like something like 60 damage per second. It's not a lot, but it's enough to kill you in a second or two. And you can't get out of his range walking because he walks as fast as you, so you're fucked. So you have to roll away, try and maybe shoot him while he's jumping in, roll away, try and flash him. You don't have a lot of recourse. As Soldier, you can get out of his range because you run slower than you when you're sprinting. So when you get jumped by a D.Va or Winston, fire into them as they're jumping, and then run away before they land on you. They won't be able to adjust fast enough to land on you, get the land damage or the punch damage, and then you're at their max effective range, they start tasering you, run, and shoot. You know? That's why Soldier's good. His positioning is amazing. That's mainly why it's good. The other reason is Helix Rocket is insane burst damage. Helix Rocket is a lot like Bastion's tank mode. It does the same damage at their feet and can't headshot. If you miss the shot, you don't hit them at all. If you miss the shot and shoot their feet, you do hit them. Oh shit. That was stupid. I shouldn't have shot at him. You gotta get used to that shooting at their feet. Because if I miss while shooting at their feet... Oh, actually, whoa, that went like... It didn't even hit the ground. That's insane. It went like right through. That like almost like clipped through. Anyway, if you hit the ground, you don't do max damage, but you still hit them. And they're moving. So if you try and shoot a moving target with the Helix, and you're gonna miss. Shoot the feet near the ground. You'll probably get some damage off of it. And you have to lead them. It's a projectile. So you want to know where they're going. So there's a couple ways to use Helix. Someone's close enough where you can hit it accurate you, shoot, burst, kill them. That's how you kill Tracer. Wait for her to blink, kind of time out her blink. She's blinking, whatever. She blinked 2 times. You don't think she's going to blink again. Burst head, shoot feet, like that. Do it real quick. You don't have to think, you can't think about it. You can't be like, he has enough damage where I can Helix him. Let's do it. You have to be able to like, be like, shoot, Helix. And Tracer only has 150 health, so you only need to hit like a couple shots on her before you Helix her. The other way to use Helix is you shot someone and they're on the run. I shot this guy and he's trying to get to cover. Shoot where he has to go. If he dodges the Helix by going back, you shoot him and kill him. If he doesn't, he gets Helixed. So a lot of times I'll be shooting at like a McCree and I'll like, there's a McCree over here, right? And I know he has cover right here. So while I'm shooting him, I know he's going to try and run for cover if I get him low. So I heal, I get him low, and then I shoot down there. And as he tries to roll for cover, or dive for cover, he gets hit by the Helix. Alternative, and also you want to save your Helix. You don't want to be like, Helix off. You don't want to Helix on cooldown. On cooldown means like every time you have it up. Because you need that for certain things, like protect yourself. If the team hasn't started yet and there's like and it's for poke and there's a Reinhardt shield, feel free to like Helix into it or whatever. But like when you're in the middle of a team fight, don't just Helix someone. Like when you get into a team fight, don't just be like, oh, Helix that guy. You know what I mean? Because like he might just get behind cover or be healed up. Your Helix is burst damage, and their healers are going to be prioritizing critical health people. So you want to make it so someone who's half health and not even being healed can just die. That burst damage is important because that's how you get the kills. You don't get the kills from steady damage over time because they'll heal it. It's that burst damage. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff all at once for Soldier. You used to be able to reload cancel, meaning if you watch me reload and you look at my gun, look at my ammo, I get more ammo when he slams the thing in. But the animation still happens. I still have to steady my gun. The slide has to come back. If I melee after the ammo gets laid in, I don't do the rest of the animation. So I can reload faster. But the problem is that melee, a lot of the times on a lot of characters, takes longer than the rest of the animation. It used to take less time. So you used to be able to, every time you would reload a soldier, you would melee because why the fuck not? You're getting a melee in and you're reloading faster. So you could actually like win 1v1s on soldier from doing that. And that's dumb. I hate that. Some people are like, I like it. It's good mechanical skill. That honestly is such a stupid thing in the game. Good mechanical skills like good combos and stuff like that, not meleeing every time you reload. So the thing is, on characters like Reaper, it actually doesn't cost any time really to do it. And you're often close enough where the melee is going to do extra damage. But say you're close enough to melee them to finish them off, you might, this is a really specific and niche thing, you might want to, if you're reloading, you're close enough, you might want to wait till you hit the actual reload. Because too often I've been like, right? You're just never going to reload. If you time it like that, if you need to melee, that's helpful. So that's like a very specific thing. But like I said, I know all these facts about the games. I just need to work on my mechanical skills. And finally, if you're going to play Soldier, you really need to take note of this. Not talking about game skill or anything right now, just mechanics. And we just talked about animation cancel. There's some in the game still. If you watch this, right, watch. So before I ult, I want to put my healing station. Everyone's going to focus me when I ult. His ult is the nano visor. It's an auto aim. So drop this. If they're in the circle, I'll be able to hit them. I can choose who I want to hit based on who's in the circle. I reload way faster. My Helix rockets still go to where I'm pointing. That's his ult. Very, very powerful. One of the reasons it's powerful is because you don't need to aim. You can jump around like a loon while you're doing it. So it makes it harder for them to hit you, and you can like sprint and move around all erratically and like stuff like that. And it does insane damage because there's no damage fall off. And it doesn't hit headshots, but it hits every shot. And you actually do insane damage. If you like, look at this bot. You do insane damage. That's pretty fast to be killing a hero. So you don't hit headshots. Okay, so the only time you don't ult, all right, you should never ult someone who you can get a guaranteed headshot. If they're in a graviton, like everyone's in a graviton, do not ult. Shoot at their heads because they cannot move. You should be able to hit their heads. If you can't hit their heads, I mean, when they're stopped, I mean, I know you suck now if you're watching this and you're watching this or Jonesy. I know you're not good at aim now, but the accuracy you need to develop to shoot someone who's standing still is actually so low. Like, I can be insanely accurate after 5 minutes on these bots, and they're moving. It's the players who are actually moving, which I'm going to talk about when I'm in the game. That's the hard thing to hit. Okay, so we've established you want to place your healing station if you can. If it's not off cooldown and you absolutely need to ult, do it, whatever. But don't die. Don't ult when you have 50 health. They will just shoot you. Good players will prioritize someone who's ulting, and they'll kill you. Animation cancel. When I play, you saw how I placed my healing station, and then I ulted.
I've got you in my sights.
You can cancel the animation on healing station place, and it still got placed, but I didn't take any time, which seems kind of like eh. But when you place the healing station, people with good game sense, they know when you've done enough damage to have your ult, and you haven't ulted yet. They'll know when you're gonna ult, right? And you're up on high ground or something, you're placing healing station, they know you're gonna ult, they're gonna start shooting you. It gives you an extra second to get more damage in, and to get into your ult faster. You're in a good situation. Someone might be running behind cover. I've had it where I'm aimbotting and someone gets behind cover before my last shot kills them. If I animation canceled, it would have worked. So it seems like it might be like some crazy timing thing, but honestly, the process is just Q, E, Q. You don't go E, Q, or E, look for timing in Q, or you don't go EQ as fast as you can. Just press E, press Q. E, Q. Like that. Always. And you're kind of like jumping around. You're looking for targets, blah, 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 shoot him, helix, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's Soldier. He's really, really good, and he's pretty much always going to be good, unless they go crazy nerfing him. We talked about Bastion. Let's talk about McCree a little. McCree's pretty easy. You're going for those like kind of flick headshots. He does a lot of burst damage. He's good against like Pharah because Pharah can drop behind cover and stuff, and she will when you're shooting at her as Soldier. And you can melt her, but you'd have to hit every shot. Whereas someone like McCree, 1, 2, you can drop her like that, and she doesn't expect it because of the burst damage. You kill her in 2 shots. You go headshot, body shot, kill her. Obviously, you have to learn his flash range. Don't miss your flashes. You want to kind of just have a good feel for how long. That's one of those things. You can get better at aiming, but you have to be better at McCree to know exactly how long. You can really surprise someone with the max range flash. His Fan the Hammer does less damage per shot. It does 35 per shot. So notice. Critical, critical. Or it took almost every shot in my magazine to kill him. You cannot get headshots with Fan the Hammer, and they only do 35. So a 200 HP hero, you can flash Fan the Hammer and kill them. When you Fan the Hammer, naturally, your thing goes up. If you want to keep it accurate, CSGO players always do that because that's recoil. You'll hold the mouse down. Look at my hand while I do this. Hold the mouse down a little bit. There's still pretty unreasonable spread. So you can still miss a shot on a slender character. But you should be keeping the hit icon there. See, I missed actually a shot on that. So I can actually, like, you see how my reticule was in the exact same space? I was this close, and I didn't kill him? Because one of the shots went way wide. Missed. See? Missed 2 shots. Right? Bullet economy means doing maximum damage before you have to reload. In the middle of a fight, reloading. That's a lot of damage you could have been done. You can kill someone in that amount of time. Or you can get killed in that amount of time. Shooting your left clicks and hitting headshots and body shots is always better than fanning the hammer. Having that said, if you know you're not going to hit a shot, you absolutely know you can't do it, flash and fan the hammer while walking up to them works. Especially on 200 HP heroes. However, I will say that you want those max range flashes. Soldiers pushing around the corner. You want to stand basically around the corner so when he's around you can flash him. You can actually headshot someone twice in the amount of flash you can do, which does more damage than fanning the hammer. 2 headshots is 280 damage, is more than fan the hammer. So, you can actually shoot them twice before, if you notice the stars didn't go away. Before they get to move, you can shoot them twice. That is very, 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 very difficult. You have to basically shoot the instant after your animation for throwing the hammer's done to get the first shot, and then the second shot immediately after the first shot. So you have to be able to know exactly when you can shoot again. And since we're not holding it and we're clicking, you have to basically be like, shooting again. You have to be good at that, and you have to know when you can shoot after fan. Because you don't want to hold the mouse down. You can key abilities in this game, Q abilities, meaning if you're holding down shift while you're doing something, it'll get you the ability as soon as possible. So if I shift while holding down E, right when he's done doing the animation, he'll throw it. So you can aim at their head and then flash and then do that if you want to, and that can work. I don't really know. I'm not good enough on Recreate to know what's the like meta for like how to do that. But I've always done it. Flash, click on head. If you really get good, it's flash, click on head twice. However, if you're not good, it's flash, wait for Bob, shoot. So you go slower and be more accurate. Instead of flash, miss, miss. You want to be ready for the flash, know that they're going to stop, flash them, aim, aim. In the second shot, you can hit their head, but if they move, you should probably go for the body. Someone like Tracer, a flash and a headshot will kill Tracer. 140 damage plus I think it's like 25 for a flash. Do you see Tracer? You just, you know, flash her, shoot her in the face. Genji, that won't kill any other hero in the game. So for them, for me, it's flash, headshot, body shot. And your roll is good for positioning. It's even better for ammo. You'll be in the middle of it. You save your roll for you're in the middle of a team fight, whatever. You're about to kill someone. Let's find someone. There's people over here. Oh no. You know, use it to position too. Like, don't just roll meaninglessly. But when you're about to like kill someone and you miss, like say I'm trying to kill this guy and he's running to cover and I miss, I roll and then shoot again. The full reload is way better. There used to be a meta in this game where fan the hammer actually did 70 per shot, and it was insane. So what you do is you would, for a tank, you'd fan the hammer, roll, fan the hammer. And you could do like literally, how much is it, 70 times 6? So you could do 360 damage twice in a row. So to Reinhardt, you could flash over his shield, fan the hammer, roll into him, and fan the hammer and kill him. And there's nothing he could do unless he pinned you. Oh, another pro tip is, your flash does damage. Your flashbang has a big range downwards. That's only important for something like Reinhardt. You can throw your flash above Reinhardt's shield, and I can't demonstrate unless we're in a game. You can throw it above Reinhardt's shield, and it'll still flash bang him, and it'll make him drop his shield. So if Ryan's walking away and he has enough damage to get killed by a headshot, run or slide at him, flash above his shield, and shoot him in the face, and leave. I don't like Deadeye. When the circle's in the center, that means you can kill them. You go from right to left when you do it, and they kind of have to be on your screen to be able to shoot them. So if they're not on your screen, you can't shoot them. When they go behind cover, the circle will go away. So you're basically, what you're doing in Deadeye is you're generating damage on them, and when you click, you deal all that damage from right to left. Right? I can't see him, I can't see him. Up, I can see him. You know what I mean? So you want the most skulls on the thing as possible. However, And if the shot hits the center of them, it doesn't fucking matter if they have a shield. It's gonna hit them. So if there's a Reinhardt standing in the way, your shot will still hit the center of them, but it'll get intercepted by shield and hit the shield. This means if there's 4 people behind a Reinhardt shield, and you do Deadeye, and you generate damage after the skull hits the center. So that's just when it'll kill them. All these guys have the same health. It'll kill them all at the same time. Right? But you're still generating damage. So you can hit someone who has 200 HP for a shot that does 1,000 damage if you do the whole channel. So if you channel behind 4 people behind a Reinhardt shield, you'll shoot the shield twice. If you shoot the shield twice with a max Deadeye, it'll break the shield, and then the last couple shots will kill whoever is behind the shield. So if there's 2 people on the right to Reinhardt, and he has his shield out, and you channel damage against it, and then you click, it'll shoot the shield once for 1,000, shoot it for 1,000, break the shield, kill Reinhardt, and kill someone else. Also, it'll shoot someone who's in a Zarya bubble for 1,000 damage, which will destroy the bubble and give her 50 charge. Also, it'll shoot a Genji reflect, and Genji will reflect it back. If he reflects back at you, your center of mass like he's supposed to, he will hit you for like whatever damage, and since he has the same amount of health, it'll kill you. And you can't move. I mean, you can move, but you move so fucking slowly. You're so vulnerable, and you're glowing, and everyone can see you, and anyone worth, you know, their salt knows when they hear it's high noon that you're channeling on them. They can hear the directional audio, like I said with the footsteps. So you high noon, everyone turns to shoot you. You need to either flank and do it really well, or you need to have some sort of protection. So a good way to do it is to go for a specific kill instead of just like, I'm high nooning. You basically like jump out, high noon, kill that support, and then bounce like immediately. If you trade for the support, that can actually be a good deal sometimes. Or you have a diva, you tell your diva you're gonna ult, or your Winston jumps on you and bubbles you. You just need, or your Zarya bubbles you. You just need enough time. And honestly, it generates super fast now. They nerfed it or buffed it to make it generate faster the first couple of seconds, so you can really like kill someone. The right to left is important because if Genji's on your left deflecting, you're gonna kill all the people, then shoot Genji, and then reflect. What Genji's gonna do is if he sees you, he knows it's right to left. He'll dash to his left, which is your right, and then he'll deflect. So that's McCree. McCree's really cool. McCree, Soldier, Bastion, right? And Junkrat. I think Ana's awesome. She's not really great in this meta. I think she'll have a comeback now that Mercy's how she is, because Mercy's res is a little worse. I hope Ana has a comeback. She's one of my favorites. Ana was the only support I ever played. There's a couple weird things with Ana. So you shoot a dart that's a projectile when you're not scoped in, and it does damage. What does it do? It does 60 damage. That also heals. Its damage hitbox is not that big. Its heal hitbox is fucking huge. I'm still healing this guy from shooting here. That means is if you're trying to do damage as Ana, and I'm trying to shoot this guy, I'm just gonna heal this guy instead. I can scope in and do it. So you have that heal dart. It actually, heal per second does insane heals. Another thing that's really good about her is she can do heals from very far away, which means you can be safe. A couple notes off the bat. When I'm scoped in, I leave a trail. I shoot just as fast. It can be more accurate from farther, but I leave a trail. Meaning, if I'm shooting here, like this, and there's a tracer right here, she'll be like, there's an Ana in that building. Let's go kill her. But I can do this, and no one can see where I am. It helps a little. It doesn't always help. What I'm saying is you don't want to just go into this mode just because you're like, I can't aim in the normal mode. Especially when you're healing, hitting these healing darts can be pretty easy. But if someone like Genji is moving and diving far away, I'll almost always scope in so I can make sure to get the hits. Because from far away, the instant nature of this, because you don't have any damage fall off. The instant nature allows you to hit. Almost always you should be scoping in when you're trying to hit an enemy or an ally from super far away. If I'm down here and I see an enemy, I'm not gonna be like, oh shit. I'm gonna scope. And there's 2 ways you can scope. There's this thing that says toggle zoom, or so if I have it off and I hold it and I let go, or I can toggle it. I like toggling it, so I do toggling it. Both pros do both of them. There's no correct method. I do this one. Okay, so that's her attack. You should be going for healing over damaging. Almost always. The only time you damage is if someone's low health, you know they're low health, and they're escaping, and you have no one else, like Pharah. Like, you see a Pharah get nailed by Soldier, and you like your team's fine, try and get the shot to finish her off. Your damage does damage over time, as you can see. So you can damage someone, like, around cover and, like, really get them. Okay. That's that. She has 2 other abilities. Anna has a lot of game-changing abilities. She's hard to position with, and in the current meta, Mercy was so much safer that people played her and no one played Anna, and to lose her is insane. And you have to aim. But if you're playing DPS characters, you want to learn how to aim, I suggest learning how to play Anna. The problem with Anna versus Mercy is you can just miss your fucking heals. You can be like, Jesus Christ, this Genji's moving around, and your whole team dies because they don't have healing. But if you're healing and you're hitting and you're prioritizing, oh, that's fine. I'll just go and we can continue some other time. If you're prioritizing right, though, you can be doing insane healing. We'll do later. Just let me know when you want to do it, because I should eat too, so. And then I'm going to install Destiny. Go powered up. Get in there. Thanks for watching, though. Hey, thanks for anyone else who watched. I'm going to, this is just going to be something I'm doing for someone, so it's not like a series or anything. I just wanted to do some tips for some people who are new to the game, and the easiest way to do it is streaming so they can watch what I'm doing. But thanks for watching. I'm going to play Destiny later.